much longer would be a huge disadvantage.
All right, guys, we're back. Sorry for those brief technical difficulties. Nothing too exciting occurred. Waterlow did get his Moon Pearl. He didn't save and quit from that Saha's hut. And Ninban unfortunately took a death trying to get this chest here, so it took a little bit of lost time, but nothing too big of a deal.
Yeah, if you have a struggle with that, check. Could use the Eva medallion.
And Waterlow is making his way through that bumper cave connector to get back to the pyramid, and he'll probably take that over to the Palace of Darkness area, because that's about all he can get to from over here. And looks like, I don't know if that was intentional to fall back into here, but, oh no, it was. Okay, he got the key back, so now he can come and get the rest of the items in Skullwoods. And luckily did not get, you don't want to fall into Pinball Room here, because if you fall into Pinball Room, you have to use the small keys. You have to use 2 small keys, whereas if you fall anywhere else, you get to use only the 1.
Never mind, there was a small key for Skullwoods in Pinball Room.
Oh, it's always in there. It's just if you fall into... So if you fall into Pinball Room, you have to unlock Pinball Room and then unlock the left side unless you want to fall again. So if you get into bad Skullwoods, you can be forced to use 2 small keys, which is kind of bad because then you don't have one for the back of Skullwoods.
Is it always in there in Cross Keys?
Yes, Cross Keys is still operating on the older version. Though, interestingly, if you play Cross Keys on the Door Randomizer branch for, like, say, Shop Sanity Cross Keys, then it will not always have a key.
Okay, that's the reason why, for me, okay. Most of the times I do play Cross Doors, therefore, okay.
Yeah, it's definitely something you want to know if you ever want to play Shop Sanity Cross Keys. And we're going to see, between these 2 runners, we'll get to see basically all of the Dark World now, with Waterlow clearing out the Palace of Darkness area. Already did the Pyramid. I don't think he'll be able to get up to Catfish now because you're probably going to want to save and quit out of Pod. And Ninban is making his way through the Village of Outcasts and going to come south over to the rest of the South Dark World.
Poor gods.
Yep, if you frozen enemies always die in 1 hit to the hammer, and they have their own separate drop pack in that situation, so it can be sometimes useful if you're looking for particular items to check that. Like if you're short bombs or arrows or magic. And if you kill a frozen enemy with anything other than the hammer, you get the stun prize.
Oh, the book on Sick Kit.
Yeah, I think that's a decent place to find the book because it'll make routing Bombo's tablet in pretty nice. Ether tablet was going to be bad basically no matter what. There's that small key up on the... I guess you go up and get that small key and then do the Mire Shed and go back to Pod if you're... But you have to... Ninban doesn't know about that stuff. He only knows about the small key. And looks like Waterlow is going to take that Tower of Hair big key he got from Palace of Darkness and use that to beat this dungeon here.
Yeah, I think that's the right call.
Oh, and that's a tough death there from Ninban, getting hit by the bomb, by the brewery entrance, and you're gonna have to take a save and quit here and walk back through the old man. At least this isn't, it's not the worst walk, but again, you just don't want to be taking overroll deaths.
Yeah, and we'll see. Oh, the boots. Okay, I want to say we'll see our first dungeon finished, but those boots are huge.
Yeah, because that's not in logic yet, because the Tower of Hera Big Key was in the Palace of Darkness Rupee basement, which Waterloo did without the Moon Pearl. It's up on West Dark Death Mountain, and he did the Bunny Revival to get that. So you're definitely feeling really good about getting those boots out of logic like this. Because first of all, they're the boots. Second of all, when he goes and does this long route that Ninban's doing, there's the Bonk Rocks over by the bomb shop that can get kind of orphaned if you don't have the boots when you go there the first time. Though it's not that bad since they have regular Dark World access now.
But it's a pendant.
Yep, so we've got one more pendant still unknown. Skullwoods is already known to be the green pendant.
Maybe Waterloo's using that stolen small key on the right side. I don't know.
He might just be using this for the connector, but we'll see. Because this can get to the mountain.
And there was something on the torch.
Oh yeah, flippers.
Oh yeah, right.
So again, these are also out of logic, but I mean, you don't really care when you just get to get this nice early game access to other places.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Ninban found the Turtle Rock ledge connector over in Hyrule Castle and was able to knock out all these entrances. This Hyrule Castle was that brewery entrance that we tried to get to earlier. And yeah, so in Waterloo let's see if he doesn't want to do the save scum. He just wants to use this to get over to the mountain, which could, I'm interested, he's got the Moon Pearl, so he can do the Mire Shed that's over here and get that small key. We'll see if there's anything else he's interested in as well. It's a bit unfortunate for him because that book is just over in Sick Kid. You could get it, but and that's basically the only time we'll be close to Ether Tablet again.
Big Key of Pot.
That's interesting because Palace of Darkness is right down there. We'll see if he elects to go. It just gives him the big chest right now, so I wouldn't be too eager to go back there, but it's such a terrible location, it could be tempting. But yeah, he's not gonna go for the the big key. Big chest of pot is locked by all 6 small keys, and he doesn't have the hammer or the bow, so he can't clear the dungeon yet.
5/6 on TR and Thiefstown. So we know about our first crystal dungeons.
Yep, and luckily the bomb vendor is not required today because that's kind of an annoying place to get back to. Oh wow, that's a real map check there. So we got crystal on Pod and Mire, and then a pendant. Our last pendant is on ice, it looks like. Or was I reading that wrong?
I think you're right.
If last pendant is ice, then we know all of our crystals and pendants.
Ooh, Waterloo. It's opening up the door and gets the fire rod.
Yeah, that's a good thing to keep. You're not gonna reset that one. We know that fire rod is required since Turtle Rock is a crystal. So Waterloo has a lot of stuff that's all out of logic. So we'll see. Sometimes in cross keys, you don't want to follow it too heavy because you might end up skipping something like, say, the hook shot of the bow that leads to all of this stuff. Though I guess with this case, it's mostly keys he's skipping so far. Because that is locked by the Desert Palace small key, and then his boots and flippers are both locked by the lamp and one more Palace of Darkness small key. Though when you get to being just one small key like that, it doesn't feel as out of logic because that can just be sitting literally anywhere. And you might not ever need to go to that some crazy one-off location because you skipped it.
Yeah, and you know it's not fire rod locked, so you don't have to look on Trinex or something like that.
Yeah, because we will need the Desert Palace small because Desert Palace is a crystal and that fire rod is required. And yeah, like you said, you won't find the Desert Palace small on Trinex or on Mothula or in the back of Skullwoods or in Right Side GT, any of those places. And there is our fourth pod small in the Lion's Hut over there. So now most of what Waterloo has is in Logic, just not that fire rod. I guess he still needs the lamp, though, to put them really fully in Logic, so never mind. But it's just the lamp. We don't care about the lamp. We have the fire rod now. And that's a Quake medallion on Bombo's tablet, which may come up if we find out that the Turtle Rock entrance is Quake locked and we get to a point where we really need to check that entrance. But hopefully for these runners, they don't have to go back and get that. And there's an annoying Spiral Cave location for Waterloo because you found a nice connector over to the Dark World, and now it's just you have to take that Spiral Cave at some point. And we got a bit of a high five over here in Mimic Cave, but unfortunately, Waterloo does not have that hammer from Skullwoods yet.
Yeah. Waterloo's equipment is stacked, but that hammer is lacking.
Yeah, it's interesting. Just the little sequence breaks. Then we see Swamp Palace in the dam, which is kind of French vanilla, right?
Absolutely. Would have been great if the dam was in Dark World.
Yeah, dam was in Swamp Palace entrance. And this Spiral Cave is a little bit less terrible for Ninman because this is basically the end of his route here, having completed his Dark World route, so not going to be as bad for Waterloo, who has this. He also found the Quarreling Brothers connector over in the Dark Bonk Rock, which you'll probably want to follow and hopefully don't get locked out of. And so that mushroom on Stumpy, we have found the Witch's Hut, but I don't remember it being in that gray location. I think it's like on the East Death Mountain or something. Oh, and there's that lamp. So yeah, that Tower of Hera Big Key is just readily accessible. Just got to go through Spiral Cave to get it. And this Hookshot Cave entrance has our last 5-item cave, Mini Moldorm Cave here. So I think we're only we've got most of the multi-item entrances at this point.
Yeah.
And there's a bow and a small key to Palace of Darkness. So this is actually going to be pretty good for Ninban when he finally makes his way over to Dark West to Dark Death Mountain, because he'll just be able to clear out the boss of Palace of Darkness.
Yeah. But needs a big key, of course.
Well, yeah, but that's just right over there. It's in the Meyer shed. But I expect to see him do the drop downs here, because you can get those Light World, those West ones, basically whenever you want. You just have to walk back over there, which is, I mean, he's got the book and the mirror now, so he can get that small key up there, but it's not fun to walk back over there just for 2 entrances. Did he do I meant the Dark World drop downs, the ones on Dark East Death Mountain. Because, yeah, well, Ninban has already done all of the Light World drop-downs via jumping down through Fairy Ascension and doing the Turtle Rock Ledge. And looks like Waterlow will be following where Ninban is right now, over to the mountain.
Yeah, probably getting that lamp too.
And we'll get our look at this Turtle Rock entrance to see if it's going to need that Quake Medallion we saw earlier on Bombo's tablet. Nope. It's all Ether today.
Oh, GT.
Yeah, this is the pretty loaded top of the mountain. We got Mini Moldorm Cave, we got Thieves Town, and now GT. So this is another place where Waterlow is really going to feel not great about not having that hammer, because we're going to see Ninban do a bit of a sequence break here, kind of skip the hook shot and do some bomb jumps. We'll see how far he goes, because without the boots, it's quite hard to get all the way to the south part. Whereas if Waterlow had the hammer, he could use the boots to bonk down to the bottom and only have to do 2 bomb jumps. Also, I have no idea how to set up this bomb jump with the Metroid Spike, but clearly Ninban does.
Yeah. I would be so confused by that sprite.
Yeah, it doesn't look like... It's very hard to do all the bomb jumps required to sequence break the left side of GT without the boots, and it's generally not worth it. So not surprised to see Ninban not go for it at this time. So both these runners are going to have to come back to the Ganon's Tower at some point to get... Ganon's Tower always has goodies in the cross keys modes, right?
GT is so loaded in cross keys. Most of the time.
And Ninban electing to do an Eastern Palace dip, which it's definitely understandable given where Eastern Palace is. So far, the only way that he has to get up here is to go through Spiral Cave. And you never want to do that again. With the mitts, they could get back here not too badly, but it's still not even great then.
Yeah, but dipping Eastern, that's a time sink. But I think it's often worth it.
Yeah, for me, it really depends on how desperate am I for items and where is Eastern Palace. So this one would fall into the where is Eastern Palace category, where this is a really bad entrance to get back to if you don't find the mitts somewhere. So Ninban's going to clear this out for as much as he can. And we'll see if Waterlow makes the same decision.
Nope. Goodbye.
We'll see if he actually... Sometimes you check this entrance, because maybe the Tower, the Eastern Palace Big Key is right here. And you can even get that map to figure out if Eastern Palace is a pendant or crystal. We know it's a crystal already. Oh yeah, I don't know if this might be Waterlow's first trip over to this. Definitely to this entrance. I don't know how much of the rest of East Deathbound he's done.
So far, there is nothing interesting in Eastern. It's got 1 check left. Vanilla Big Key? Question mark. Nope.
Sandcard, at least.
At least that, yeah.
But yeah, Eastern Palace didn't have anything. But again, you can't fault Ninban for dipping them there, with given how bad of a location it is.
Ninman did find so many more hearts. Just noticed.
Yeah, these runners have done they've converged a little bit, but they still got a decent amount of variety. Like the main thing right now is the West Dark World stuff that Waterloo has not done that Nimban has.
Yeah.
And then Waterloo has all those the sequence break of Palace of Darkness to give him the items that he has that Nimban doesn't have. And we'll get to see some dueling Skullwoods clears. They both have the Skullwoods small for different reasons. I guess Waterloo must have picked one up somewhere.
Yeah, there was one on the east of Mountain. Don't know where exactly, but it's just like 2 minutes ago.
And Ninban showing us that nice little bomb jump. If you line up with the wall there, it's pretty easy to do. And Waterloo's not going to have to do that. Just going to use that fire rod from the sequence break of the right side of Desert.
Yeah. Nimban is going to do fighter sword or hammer fight.
Yeah, luckily Ninban has a lot of hearts compared to Waterloo.
Yeah. Some decent hits in.
Yeah, I think you should just need the one more if all three of those that look like they did.
Yeah.
Alright, very nice. Waterloo should have a little bit easier time with this Master Sword and Fire Rod. Though it's getting a bit bullied by the spikes. And again, the green pendant. We know where Sahasrara is. He's over at the Agina cave. And Waterloo takes down Mothul as well. It's a bit of a close fight, mainly because of the lower amount of hearts, but very good to close that out. And now I'm interested to see where Ninban elects to go, because he has the East Dark World, but he doesn't know he has that because he doesn't have logical access to there except through, or no, he has the just walking over to the Flute to 5 spot now with the Hammer and Glove, but it's a bit of a walk. And then he also has those West Death Mountain stuff for Palace of Darkness, but he doesn't know that that's Palace of Darkness, so it's just 2 entrances to him.
And Waterloo's going for Eastern Palace right now.
Yeah, this makes a lot of sense because I was kind of surprised to see him not dip Eastern at first just because of how bad of a location it is. But then since he hadn't done East Death Mountain, it makes a lot of sense to just clear that out because you might just find the Eastern Palace big key in there and they'd feel really stupid if you did all of Eastern and then just walked out and found that on Mothul or something. And yeah, this seed had such early, nice early game access that I don't think Ninban has done any of this South Light World yet.
Yeah. Do you think Nimban is going for Skullwoods in the near future? He's got a key. He's got the big key.
Oh, you mean Waterloo?
Yeah, Waterloo. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the main thing holding it back is he doesn't know how to get there right now.
Okay, yeah.
Because like right now, the only way to get there is through the back of Old Man, which he still hasn't gone to yet. It's a bit surprising, but maybe after this. Because the Old Man has the Mire area, and then it's the connector to the West Dark World, so it's a very big connector today. Oh, and I think there was Okay, but Ice Palace is over here, but Nimban can't get in there yet because he doesn't have the fire rod from Desert yet.
Yeah, Nimban is lacking a couple of items here. Boots, fire rod, flippers.
And who knows where that Desert Palace small is? It could be that Ice Palace may logically require Bombos today.
Yeah.
And yeah, so there was a C in the top left corner, chat pointing out. So that was Ice Palace is a crystal then. So we don't have full information. I misread the map check there.
So we passed the first hour mark, and I think that's like the mark when cross keys gets really interesting.
Yeah, because now they have, well, Waterloo will soon know that he has access to all of the world if he goes through the back of the old man connector.
Yeah.
But they have access to basically the whole world, and they just got to decide which sort of not great checks they want to invest time in. Because I think Waterloo is going to have to find, or Ninban's going to have to find Pod at some point, because it doesn't look like there's too much left that isn't going to be locked by the flippers or the boots.
Yeah.
Just from what we've seen from both runners. So from what we've seen, we've got the flipper locked entrances that, because now we know that Palace of Darkness with 4 pod smalls and the lamp, that Tower of Hera is big as in logic, so the flippers and the boots are available as well. So for what things we haven't seen from those flippers yet, we haven't seen basically any of the flipper checks, like no hobo, no dark shopping mall, no Sora area. I wouldn't be surprised to see something like the dam around, because right now they've found so many of the multi-item entrances. So if they're going to find an item in the entrances, it's going to be like there's a one-off with something in it. There might be one of the fairies left, though I think they found both. But they found all the 5-item caves. They found Hookshot Cave, but can't get the items without the Hookshot, obviously. And so if they find that if it's going to be the answer is going to be a flipper locked entrance, it would make sense for it to be some dungeon or the dam to give us Swamp Palace access. Though I guess we do have the Swamp Palace small. It's available, but I don't think both. It's in the Turtle Rock Change Home chest, which Ninban has not gotten to yet. And Waterloo making his way through Hyrule Castle, which is a play that makes tons of sense. It's just not going to pay off very much because the best thing we've got in here is is the powder.
Yeah.
It is very nice to have the Hyrule Castle small before finding Hyrule Castle whenever you have either Lumberjack or Ganon. Ganon drop down for the back of escape. And so with Ninban over in this, in the area where he is, I'm wondering what we could see something like Catfish or Dark Shopping Mall, which would be a new check for us. But otherwise, he's just going to be doing more stuff that we've seen over from Waterloo already.
Yeah. I think those boots are starting to snowball for Waterloo.
Yeah, it's definitely nice when you...
He's been able to do his checks so much faster for a long time now.
Yeah, because Ninban got a bit of an advantage from finding the earlier Moon Pearl and finding the earlier West Dark World access. But yeah, those boots are really starting to mitigate a lot of that. And Chad asking about the boots, they are in Tower of Hera, just the small chest in the upper level, locked by the big key. Big key is in Palace of Darkness, which Ninban has not made his way over to Palace of Darkness yet.
But Nimban will get that big key for Tower of Error in Change on Chest.
Yeah, we got to see him show off the freezing and instant killing the Pokies there, which is very nice game knowledge. But yeah, this is an important Chain Chomp chest because it has the Swamp Palace small key today. And like I said, I would not be surprised to see. You really hate to go into Swamp Palace without the hook shot, but if they find the dam, I feel like you just kind of have to. With what they don't have very many other options. Though I guess Misery Mire is an option now with those boots being in Logic. And we'll see if Ninban goes and checks Powder here, because this is really going to be the closest time. Okay, looks like he is going to. It's very easy to forget about this magic bat around here, but good to see Ninban remembering.
We did find every fetch quest so far, so...
Yeah, maybe we'll, because that's another thing. Either of these runners have turned in the mushroom. We know where the Witch's Hut is already. It's not somewhere that's very easy to get back to. I think it's on East Death Mountain, but it's not in a nice place wherever it is. Oh, and I missed that GT Big Key being in
Me too.
Laser Bridge. That's a good find because that's required today. Because the rest of Laser Bridge was garbage, but that first one, and Ninman got it too quickly when he did it. All right, so Desert Palace is our last pendant, which is actually good news for Waterloo because maybe we don't need the Desert Palace small key today. That Desert Palace key steal, it's oftentimes quite a time commitment, but it can be a huge game changer if you have Pendant Desert, have a required item over there, and then the Desert Palace small is in a terrible spot.
Yeah.
And let's see if Ninban's gonna do the sort of fetch quest combo over here. Just did Magic Powder. He's got a great time to mirror and turn in his mushroom right here. It's kind of a bit funny that Hookshot Cave is here in the Dark World, and then the other side is the Witch's Hut.
Yeah.
It's basically just a portal. I'm surprised that Ninban didn't get a mirror bonk there. And we'll get to see what Catfish has today. Also, Ninban could elect to go up to the Zora area from here as well. We'll see if he wants to go up here to the Dark Shopping Mall area. With walking south, looks like Dark Shopping Mall. Oh, we can't leave that one there. Gotta get that big key.
What desert?
Yeah, knowing Desert's a pendant, we're not necessarily going to need that, but it could be Land Molus or the Big Chest as an item.
Yeah, could lead him to desert for that fire rod.
Yeah, I can't remember if Ninban did the key steal.
He did.
Both
Both
okay.
of them did. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's a good. There's no super quick Desert Palace entrances that are close to save and quit points, so we'll see if he gets over there at some point. And Waterloo's making his way up to Skullboys, which will be great for him because that's where the hammer is, and that's really been the main thing that Waterloo has been missing for the past like 20 minutes or so.
That's the only thing which was speaking for Ninban, to be honest.
Yeah, and so a note about that desert big is that could tempt Ninban to beat the boss. Knowing that it's a pendant is very good here because your temptation is less, because then it's 2 items versus 1. But if Desert Palace map hadn't showed up, then maybe you might be tempted to just beat Desert, and then you have to go on a hunt for that small key. And I did also miss that front of Turtle Rock. We'll get to see this back of Skullwoods too, but that front of Turtle Rock over in the Palace of Darkness area, so we will only need that 1 key for beating Turtle Rock today. So looking at what our runners need, between the 2 of them, it looks like we're looking for Thieves Town big key, Misery Mire big key, Ice Rod, Cane of Samaria, and the Hook Shot. And I think we have found all of the dungeons as well. So no dungeon hunt today. I guess that makes sense when you find the mirror and connector to Mire this early. Because I think at this point it's going to be either there's going to be some weird flipper check leading to either the dam or some one-off item, or it's going to be something like Misery Mire that has the next piece of progression that we haven't seen.
Yeah. For Waterloo, I think Pot is interesting right now. Got that bow, got that hammer, big key, 5 small keys.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that's a good point. It's not super easy to get back up there, but that could be a more attractive option than, say, Misery Mire, which you can't full clear.
Yeah. I'm a fan of finishing up crystal dungeons if you're able to.
Yeah, especially if I can't remember where Sick Kid is. I think he's over in this area, but that has our book, which will give Waterloo Ether Tablet as well, which would be a good justification for him to go back up to the mountain. It's always nice when Nimban gets, or anyone gets to just combo in these Eastern and pod entrances like that, because this pod entrance is one of the worst in the game, but when you can combo it in with Eastern, it's not as bad. Chat pointing out that the Sick Kid was in the hammerlocked house, so Waterloo may actually miss that for... We'll see if he doubles back, because he did... When you get the hammer like that after just doing Village of Outcasts, sometimes you'll forget about that entrance. Nimban wants nothing to do with that fire shield. And I wonder where Nimban could go over to Desert. I think actually this would be a good time, I think, for Nimban to get over to Pod. Even though obviously he doesn't know it's Pod yet, but he has the Desert Palace big key. Desert Palace front is down at the tavern, and he's got that connector would take you to the mountain, and he has the book for Ether Tablet as well.
Yeah, and we did find the dam.
All right, which entrance was this?
We'll see.
Oh, is this is King's Tomb, I think. Oh no, it's Bonk.
No,
It's one of the boots locked ones. Yeah, so that does make me think that Swamp Palace is going to have something in it today, which you hate to see. You don't want to go into Swamp without the hook shot, and you still have Mire and Pod as an option, so you're not going to rush to it, but it could come up at some point.
Where was the Harabiki located at?
Palace of Darkness, Dark
Ah,
Maze.
yeah.
Can see a lot of the hammer smashing today, giving us the hammer smash pack is the ruby pack, which you don't normally get to know because you don't see that much hammer smashing.
Yeah.
Also, that was a vanilla graveyard lead, which is interesting, but not too helpful. All right, we'll probably get to see some new checks over here from Waterloo because he's got Dark Shopping Mall and Zora area right over here. So he's definitely going to pick at least one of these after Catfish. Oh, and this is nice too. This one chest of Hookshot Cave is in Logic. Just 3 bombs today. Oh, Nimban's making the play. He's going to get his fire rod too.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah, this is good for both runners because it would be kind of a bit anticlimactic if this race is just decided because one runner has to go for a Desert Palace small. So both of these runners making the same decision and getting rewarded for it.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to finally see some flipper checks. C-shaped house. Oh wow,
And
I don't even know if
did find the flippers, but can't get them.
Nimban is skipping the Desert Palace Pig. No.
Why though?
It's really easy to just get mixed
Yeah.
up, especially when you pull the fire out of the right side. That also might be why Waterloo didn't do King's Tomb. Perhaps he already knew about that.
Yeah. I remember him getting out of there early on.
And Zora area has nothing interesting for us today. All right, looks like Ninban is going to Ice Palace. Which, not in Logic, but it also doesn't have the big key. But that's the only thing that's over here. But definitely wants to make that play. Who knows, the Ice Palace big chest could have nothing in it anyway.
Yeah, those early sequence breaks of Waterloo did put him a little bit in front.
Yeah, and I agree with our tracker Jinxie. These guys they're gonna have to go and get something out of a dungeon. Ice Palace would be out of Logic because there's no way logically to get in here, but that doesn't mean it couldn't have the progression because the Desert Palace small could just be somewhere like Mire or Swamp. But yeah, it's looking a lot like you're gonna find the hook shot or something in one of these dungeon dips.
Yeah.
Seeing some even more ice frozen enemies getting smashed by the hammer. And we're going to get to see Waterloo go over here and do the sequence break that he wasn't able to do earlier. So for Waterloo, I think he's going to go all the way. I think he's going to go all the way to Ice Armos, get the big chest of GT, because he's got the boots, so you only have to do 2 bomb jumps rather than like 6.
Yeah, and they are the easy ones.
Yeah, that's quite difficult because you have to do all of the ones in a row to get down to where the fire bar room is. So Waterloo is not going to find the hook shot here, though I guess he could find the hook shot on Ice Armos or something. That would just mean the Canis Maria is out there somewhere, but could find just about anything else.
That spike can be so annoying. Or that.
Yeah, that's
that
definitely
guy.
the worst part of the bonking. The skeleton and the spike can team up to ruin your life like they did there.
IPBJ.
Oh yeah, and chat pointing out, yeah, the hookshot could be in this particular chest because this chest is available just with bonks and 4 GT small keys, which funnily enough they have here. But the rest of these are all going to be locked by the hookshot up till Ice Armos and Big Key, big chest, which could be locked by the Cane of Samaria instead, but might also be locked by the hookshot depending on which one of those comes up first. And really, Ice Palace is making its name today. These enemies are getting frozen.
So far, nothing of value for Waterloo.
Yeah, both these runners still waiting to come up for something good in the dungeons they decided to dip. Rando Room was a bust today.
Big D. We know where TT is.
Yeah, that was one of the items we needed for sure. So definitely good to find there for Ninban. And nothing so far in Ganon's Tower.
Second 300 rupees in Ice Palace.
And there was a 300 in GT Big Chest as well.
Yeah.
So at least these links making a little bit of money on the side, but not getting the items looking for. Tempered Sword is nice, but not needed.
And man is still on Fighter Sword.
Yep, that other sword being in the Palace of Darkness Dark Maze.
Yeah.
I think I'm definitely glad to find that Swamp Palace Big Key in here.
Yeah.
Because your Swamp is coming up in turn. Well, not as much for Waterloo because he doesn't have, or I mean Ninban because he doesn't have the flippers yet. All right, so with that Cane of Samaria there, we know for sure that the hookshot is not locked by the Cane of Samaria because, like I was saying earlier, that chest is either locked by the cane or the hookshot. And since the cane is in there, it's obviously not locked by the cane. So hookshot is just somewhere available. And we'll see if it would be. Yeah. I think Waterloo would be pretty happy if he were to find something like the Misery Mire Big Key over here that you could kind of take that cane that you sequence broke and do even more with it.
Yeah. Ninban on his way to his first crystal. That's hammer fight. Oh.
Yeah, luckily Ninban has plenty of hearts to deal with and blue mail. Tile Room and GT just having the second Castle Tower small key, which is useless today. That blocks the back of escape, which they've already done via the Hyrule Castle small.
Doesn't Ninban have a fairy left?
I believe so. There was a fairy in Eastern Palace, so if he hasn't used it, he still has it.
But never mind, not needed.
And yeah, so chat talking about the possibility of GT Climb having progression, which is, yeah, they have all 4 GT smalls, so the 3 checks that don't require the hookshot are all in logic, and we could have something terrible like that. I'm rooting for that not to be the case, but as the seed goes on longer and longer, the possibility gets higher and higher.
Are you really not rooting for that?
No, I don't like when people have to do. Well, I guess it's not that bad this seed. It's just if it's hookshot specifically, that would be kind of garbage because they have to do the climb at some point. So like, it wouldn't be terrible if you do the 3 items and you leave, and then just hope that the 4th one has nothing. But they have to do the climb today. So if these runners don't hover or Moldorm bounce, and if you Moldorm bounce, you could leave behind the item. Though I guess Moldorm does respawn even after opening the chest. So there's a lot of options, but they're not good ones. At least he does in vanilla. I haven't tried a randomizer to be sure that Moldorm respawns after opening the chest, but he does in vanilla.
Do you remember at what timestamp Waterloo got those boots?
It was early. If I had to guess, I would
Early.
say like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
Because he got it before Moon Pearl.
Yeah.
All right, so it looks like Waterloo is going over to Palace of Darkness.
I think that's a good call. He's able to finish that dungeon.
Yep, fully clearable crystal. It looks like Nimban is making his way towards the mountain, which if this culminates with a Palace of Darkness entrance, then he'll be in pretty good shape in terms of getting to wherever the next item's going to be.
Yeah.
Because at this point, those boots are clearly the progression. It's either going to be Mire or Swamp, which both of those are going to require the boots to get to, because you need the boots to get to the dam, you need the boots to get the flippers, and you need the boots to cross the Mire gap.
Oh, nearly gets bullied.
And we'll see this this ether tablet. This could be pretty big for Ninban if this is something.
Oh, another thought.
Yeah, that's a bit annoying. I will see if he actually gets that, because he's going to get another sword from Palace of Darkness. It's a bit of a walk to get back up here, but it might be worth it.
Oh no.
So yeah, Ninban's going to get his Palace of Darkness big key from here, and then find Palace of Darkness with 5 pod smalls on the big, and get just a single dip full clear it.
Yeah, which leads to Tower of Hera.
Yeah, this is actually pretty interesting for Ninban, because you do Tower of Hera, you get your boots, because like he doesn't have very much left. So you find the Tower of Hera big key in Logic Palace of Darkness. Tower of Hera is going to be make a lot of sense to do. And then from there, he'll get the boots, and you have like Mire or Bonk Rocks, both of which will point you in the area of a dungeon. So we might actually see these runners kind of converge after Nimban is done with Tower of Hera.
Yeah. That's so crazy about Cross Keys. We're talking about a lead of Waterloo, which would never be in reach for Ninban in the normal mode.
Well, yeah, because Ninban did have a little bit over Waterloo for a while in terms of information, just because he had checked a lot of things. He checked more entrances quicker. Waterloo has since caught up because of the boots and just having more access. But it wasn't quite as clear-cut of a lead for Waterloo as the items kind of made it look.
Yeah. Boots also lead to flippers.
Yeah, the boots are the key to this seed right now.
Yeah, crazy.
They lead to flippers, they lead to the dam, they lead to getting into Misery Mire, unless the hookshot is for whatever reason somewhere that isn't boots locked, but that does not look like the case today. All right, Waterloo's made his way into the boss of Palace of Darkness, King Helmasaur. Should be a pretty simple fight, given how loaded up he is today.
First crystal for Waterloo.
And there's another Misery Mire small key, which Misery Mire left side is logically locked by 3 of the small keys, because Misery Mire is looking like a pretty nice location. You can't full clear it yet, but the way that Mire works, if double dipping it isn't terrible because all the items are off path, basically.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad to double dip.
Mire is a very interesting dungeon in Keysanity modes, because there's so many checks.
Yeah, and it's one of the rare places where a lot of times the dungeon boss requires logically you to have all of the small keys, but Vitreous doesn't require any small keys.
Yeah.
So you can get some interesting cross key seeds where you get the cane and the big key and boots or hookshot early, and then you just have 4 Heart Fighter Sword Vitreous in logic. And yeah, I agree with what Chad is saying here. The way Waterloo is routing this, you do, he's doing the Dark Shopping Mall and knows that Ice Palace is over here. So you go in, it would make a lot of sense to go into Ice Palace. You do leave behind the big chest, but it's, I think that's a risk you're willing to take at this point because your other choices are dipping non-clearable dungeons. And very nice there by Nimban hitting the jewel with that hammer without spin speed or anything or a sword out. That's not simple to do. And yeah, so Ice Palace, that had it had a big key in it, at least one, that we needed. Ah, yes, it wasn't one we needed. It was the Swamp Palace one. And Harris Small is a little interesting too, because neither runner has gotten to it yet. And one advantage that Waterloo is going to have over Nimban is having already gotten that Cane of Samaria out of logic in the Ice Armos room, he can use the Icebreaker glitch here to clear Ice Palace a lot faster than Nimban was able to. He's going to save like a minute or minute and a half.
Absolutely, yeah. Phantom Maria's nice to have in that situation.
Oh, there was a big key of Thieves Town in here too. So yeah, there was one that we needed for sure. And then I think Spike Chest was the swamp one.
Yeah, for item go mode we are talking about Ice Rod and Hookshot.
And then we're gonna need the Misery Mire big key and the Eastern Palace big key, and technically the Thieves Town small key, but no one cares about that. Unless if you're in go mode at least. If you're not in go mode, then you care about the key, but when you're in go mode, otherwise, just ignore it. Oh yeah, we're also missing TR big. Yeah, I misread that. Saw the GT big. All right, let's see if Nimban wants to take the long walk up to get that 3rd sword. For a 3rd sword, I think it's worth it. If it's a 4th sword, you just skip it.
Yeah. Upgrade from Master Sword to Tempered is huge, but Tempered to Butter Sword is nice, but not that great.
Yeah, for Trinex, it can actually help. It's probably the biggest time save you get on it. But with these runners are both going to be very skilled on their Ganon fight and won't need the gold sword for the double one cycle. Especially in cross keys, because a lot of times in cross keys you just get red mail and you just use red mail strats where you take hits from the fire bats and get the double one cycle. All right, let's see where Nimban elects to go. I think that Tower Hero just makes too much sense right now. He can get all the rest of the items in there.
Does not look like it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else
Kakariko, wasn't it? Yeah.
If there's anything, maybe he wants to walk through in the dark world for something over there. Okay, so this will take him to Kag. Maybe this is the fastest way to Kakariko. It's interesting.
Maybe, yeah.
Because this will take you right by Tower of Hera.
Cross keys is weird.
Yeah, you can't tell me anyone has this time. Like, is it faster to just walk to Kakariko or go into the Dark World, walk into Link's the bomb house, and then do Paradox Bottom from Paradox Middle?
I would just do a Zank start. I mean, Zank is not that far away in the seat.
Yeah, Zank is up at the Lumberjack. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. You've got a bunch of options that are going to be roughly the same speed, but one of them has to be faster.
Gotta time it.
Alright, where is Waterloo headed right now? He's got Mimic Cave. Okay, so he's not going to do the Mimic Cave, which I think was at Swamp Palace. But he's going to take this back up to the top of Death Mountain. You never like seeds where you take the Spiral Cave connector more than once.
What does Hera Basement have for us?
Just a single rupee.
So underwhelming.
But the real prize is up here with those boots. Ninban knows about the flippers on the Torch of Desert, so he'll be able to get those too, which will really open up the rest of the seed. It looks like Waterloo is going to combo in orphaning the Ice Palace Big Chest with orphaning the Thieves Town Big Chest, which you can get away with sometimes. We'll see how it works out today. Because the blind cell is in logic with just the big key. Without the small key, nothing else is. But this is like you're choosing between either dipping dungeons you cannot clear like Mire or Swamp, and definitely not Swamp, that's so slow. But you can do fully or clearable crystals that you just have to leave behind one item in.
I don't think that the man is feeling good finding these boots.
No, not with knowing where Palace of Darkness was,
Yeah.
because that's been available for a long time. They got those two Palace of Darkness small keys really early. Because and also Waterloo did in fact actually get those just about as early as you could.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see where Nimban elects to take these boots. There's he's going into desert right now. So this connector. Right, yeah, get the flippers for sure. And then because you got Bonk Rocks, you got Misery Mire, and then you got your flippers checks. All right, so that confirms that Fire Rod is what gets us into Ice Palace, because that Thieves Town Big was in Ice Palace. So the Desert Palace Small, I'm thinking it's in Misery Mire at this point. Because that Bombos is interesting only in the fact that since it's locked by the Fire Rod, that means that Ice Palace is also locked by the Fire Rod, which means that Desert Palace Small is not locked by the Fire Rod. And Nimban is going to make his way over to the Light World Bonk Rocks by Sanctuary, which that's the dam today, which we'll get to see. I think Waterloo checked the dam item. I'm not sure, but it would be kind of weird if he hadn't yet.
Oh, another crystal for Waterloo. Taking the crystal lead right here. Still a really close race.
Yeah, and with that save and quit, I think that Ninban is thinking about going to Swamp Palace right now.
Yeah.
Which I think that, I mean, I guess Meyer also just opened up to him. So maybe, because you want to follow what you've been getting, especially if you feel like you got something late. We've got a convenient, you pull the dam, you get to check the dam at it, and go right into Swamp Palace today. Though Swamp Palace without the hookshot is never convenient. I don't care how nice the entrance is. All right, let's see where Waterloo elects to go here. Oh, okay, he's going to go get that Mimic Cave at Swamp Palace. At least I'm pretty sure that's where that was. He did not have the hammer when he came here. They were both here at the same time, but Ninban had the hammer. Or maybe not. Oh no, he mirrored early by muscle memory. It's just weird to walk into that swamp. You walk in the Dark World and you're going to Swamp Palace and you think you can pull the dam first. But yeah, I'm a bit surprised to see both of these runners go to Swamp before Misery Mire. I mean, for Waterloo, though, he has Mimic Cave down here. He has the Cane of Samaria, so he's only one item away from clearing Mire. So I think it makes more sense from his perspective to me. But Nimban also making the same choice and doing Swamp before Mire.
Ooh, Eastern big. So Eastern is fully clearable. Vanilla Oxford! Oh my god!
So Swamp was the play.
Oh my god.
That's crazy, man. Just full vanilla. We got that Swamp Palace. So going to Ice Palace before Swamp is basically necessary this seed. Otherwise, you're going to be feeling pretty bad. So with that hookshot, basically everything that these runners need is now going to be open to them. They can beat the Ganon's Tower climb and do the hookshot cave, and that's going to give them a lot of items. They can beat Eastern. So they got basically just a lot of stuff that they're going to have to do no matter what to do, and then hopefully find stuff like the Meyer Big and the TR Big along the way.
Love to see how confused Nimban was after getting the hookshot. Oh.
Yeah, he's definitely not ready for that.
No.
Because when you come into Swamp without the hookshot, you're thinking, oh, if I get my progression, I can just leave, right? But with the hookshot, you don't want to leave. You want to finish out the rest.
Oh.
And so the Eastern Palace, being where it is, it's kind of difficult because you'd like to. Ganon's Tower and Eastern Palace are both on Dark East Stuff Mountain, but Ganon's Tower is up top, and if you really want to clear out all of GT, so unfortunately you don't get to get a nice routing convenience, and you're gonna have to go through. If you're going through the frickin' Spiral Cave entrance again to get to that area, I'd probably have to do it twice. So it's kind of garbage. I think if it were me, I would do the GT stuff first because you have to do it both times, and maybe you just get the mitts and don't have to do Spiral Cave again if you find the mitts in GT. It doesn't look like Left Side Swamp had anything interesting for us today.
Just garbage.
It's interesting how these runners have been on very different routes, but have ended up in the same dungeon on like 3 or 4 occasions now.
Yeah. So, what's in the bag?
At the back, having most of the items for Swamp Palace, at least most of them in quick succession.
Swamp would be such a great dungeon if it's... If
Oh,
it wouldn't have left side, but that small key could be huge for Ninban.
Yeah, you're definitely
what
not going
you
to feel
already-
too great if you're Waterloo and you find that. 'Cause
Yeah.
that's like basically a win condition for Ninban. If the ice rod's
Yeah.
in the Thieves Town big chest, then
Absolutely, yeah.
it's going to be hard for Waterloo to come back from that. Not impossible, but quite hard.
Yeah.
It would take another equally bad item that Ninban had to get to, because that's a last location.
Absolutely.
But I think that's actually really nice, because I think that for Ninban you can go beat Thieves Town now before doing the GT stuff.
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
Because Thieves Town is right up there, right by GT. It's actually very nice to get that, because I think you're tempted to just clear out Thieves Town without the small, if you're given where these runners are at right now.
Yep.
Because it's right there, you're going to GT. You don't want to go through freaking Spiral Cave 5 times. That's just too insane. It's never good when Spiral Cave is actually a useful connector. Alright, so I think that this is Paradox Cave again for Ninban. We'll see if because that gets you up to the mountain. Or no, it's Spiral Cave again. Sorry, we've been making I've been bemoaning Spiral Cave's existence and forgetting that that's where it is. It's right here. So I think this is what? This is either the 3rd or the 4th time through Spiral Cave here for Ninban. At least the same for Waterloo as well.
Let's agree. Say at least one time too often.
Yeah, and Ninban's gonna do Eastern Palace first. We'll see what... I think Waterloo will probably do it too, because the only other temptation was to do Thieves Town, which I'm pretty sure Thieves Town was in the Hookshot Cave entrance.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Waterloo's also going to do... Again, these runners both... They have different options available to each other, but gonna do the same thing anyway. Also, I think this is Waterloo's first time in Eastern, so he's gonna do a little bit. Or no, never mind. He can do dipping at the end.
Yeah. Ninban has to hope that they won't find the ice rod on the road.
Yeah, because they're both doing the same dungeons at the same time. There has to be
Yeah.
something a little off path, I agree.
Yeah, and Waterloo already finished up Thieves Town.
Because we got Ice Rod, we got Turtle Rock Big, and Meyer Big, which those are all basically just the Ice Rod and wearing different disguises in terms of how much they lock in the game. All right, there's the Mr.
Wow.
Meyer Big Key.
Oh no.
Yeah, a lot of times when you have scenes like this where the runner's full clear of the overworld, essentially, you just get sent on a breadcrumb chain of dungeons like this.
Yeah, but for Ninman the Maria's missing. So
Yeah, that's true.
edge for Waterloo.
Yeah, I think he's going to do GT first and end up getting that cane before going to Meyer. Because if you're thinking, okay, you want the cane for both places, and GT has way more items, so
Yeah.
it makes sense to go there first. Though it is more costly to get back to GT, but so it kind of cuts both ways.
I think the smart play would be to do Thieves Town.
Yeah, but I think he is going to go to Meyer here with this direction. We know that this is Ninban's preferred way to get to the Kakariko village. Yeah, and Waterloo, I think it's clear you just do Misery Mire first. The GT climb, you do have to do it at some point, but it's terrible to get back to, and you might find something good. Though I guess he's going to prove me wrong and go back to GT. Because I guess the flip side to it is that GT, it's going to take about the same amount of time no matter what. There's 4 checks on the way. Maybe you get lucky and find Ice Rod and Turtle Rock Big up here and you can go mode Mire.
Yeah. I think it's an interesting decision of Nimban to do Meyer. Because
yeah,
one is fully clearable.
Yeah, I can get doing it before GT a little bit if you're looking for the cane for either one. I am a bit surprised about doing it. Maybe he just didn't remember Thieves Town being in the place where it was when he was there the first time. Because like Thieves Town's fully clearable, it doesn't get much faster in go mode, so you pretty much, if you have the Thieves Town big and small, you just clear it.
Last arrow. Oy.
Yeah, that's one of the rooms that's definitely worth making sure you're tight on your execution because, for one, if you come here low percent, those guys do a lot of damage, and it's better to just not take any damage from them considering they're totally deterministic, no RNG involved. And also, your arrow situation can get in trouble. But luckily, Waterloo's able to power through it. We have seen him mimic clip before, though it is harder to mimic clip in those rooms than in Pod. And Meyer turning up nothing so far. He's still got half the checks left. And another thing that could go into Ninban's decision, at least, is he might not be feeling too great about how late he got the boots, for instance. So maybe you're trying to make a bit of a play that you think your opponent might not have for us. So something like Cane of Samaria in Misery Mire here would be really big for Ninban. And this rail clip is definitely not an easy one, especially when you don't have Canis Samaria to block that fire snake from bothering you. So we'll come up on these last 3 items of Misermire, and then right after that we'll be seeing the climb items. There's the Desert Palace small key. So like I thought, I didn't think it was going to be in the big chest because that's locked by a lot of other stuff.
So we are talking about Ice Rod on Pet, maybe?
Yeah, something. Thieves Town big chest is always an out for an in-ban, but yeah, something like that. Or on Landmolus. I think that would be just as good as a pedestal for an in-ban.
Yeah, moment of truth for Waterloo.
Yeah, this is definitely a pretty risk-free climb because, like, we already know that you have to do this. That flute is useless, so don't be distracted by that. I'm wondering if you'd even activate it. There's sometimes you activate it because they don't have a good way to get up to the mountain, but I don't know if they have to get up to the mountain again, so we'll see.
Silver.
And then Waterloo, unfortunately, getting the poke there, but able to clean up Moldorm there.
Absolutely useless key, so climb wasn't the solution.
Yeah, we'll see if Vitreous is going to continue the string of the breadcrumb big keys, because we know that that's the only Tekken Mire that could have anything, but you could find like the Turtle Rock big key there and then find the Ice Rod and the Turtle Rock big chest. I think we will see Waterloo activate the flute though, because he's going to go to Mire and he'll be right there. But if you didn't have to go back to the Kakariko, I don't think he would. And this is going to be a pretty big moment for Nimban because if the Thieves Town big chest has an item, then that's absolutely huge for him.
Yeah. That's his win condition.
So I don't know if Waterloo did Magic Bat yet.
Oof. I don't know, to be honest.
Because this would be a good time to do it. He might not have even done anything on this pyramid yet. Or no, he's gonna jump. He's doing Magic Bat now.
I don't remember. Did we see a purple chest?
No, we haven't seen anything like that because we don't have myths yet, so no Smith chain.
Yeah. Right, yeah. Okay. There wasn't a connector leading into that area, okay.
Yeah, Cross Keys myths just gives us, today it's just giving us Smith chain and Ice Palace entrance. Oh, and yeah, our tracker Jinxie pointing out the Hookshot Cave is a pretty big one to not see, and so, but with that flute, I think we'll see that sooner rather than later.
Yeah.
And it looks like Waterloo has your preferred method of getting to Kakariko. At least that's what I'm pretty sure this is. Gonna go save and quit the Sank to get there.
Moment of truth. Oh no! Oh!
That is terrible, by the way, because the Thieves Town Big was an Ice Palace.
Yeah.
So I guess it's a to be continued on an even terribler check than that one was.
Schrodinger's progression.
Yeah, if Ice Palace Big Chest has something, that's just terrible because of this. What you had to do to get the Thieves Town Small and the Ice Palace Big, or the Thieves Town Big. There was no way you were going to do Ice Palace Big Chest first time through.
Yeah.
All right, so we are going to get to see Hookshot Cave finally. We'll get to see what the 4 items in here hold. We have seen 1 item from Waterloo with just 3 bombs earlier.
That's another small key for Ice Palace. Oh,
Yeah, I don't know if that
streaming.
one's that one, depending on the Cane of Samaria, may or may not be logically required, but yeah, it's so obnoxious with the Ice Palace key placement.
Hookshot Cave is empty, just empty.
And Nimban will get his Cane of Samaria now. He's just able to clear out the rest of GT. And we'll get to see what's on Vitreous when Waterloo full clears this Mystery Mine right here. Okay, I think that Ped isn't even that bad for Waterloo though right now, because right after this, going to Desert is not going to be that bad with that flute now. And we already have the other 2 pendants.
And we know that chat would be happy if they had a blind pull.
I mean, at this point, I don't even think Pedestal is like, if you're rooting for the worst checks, like Pedestal is like not even that close to the worst. Like obviously Thieves Town Big is terrible for Waterloo, and then we know that gives you Ice Palace Big. So like Pedestal I think is dreaming too small for this seed. Because after Meyer, if Vinny doesn't have a big key, we've got Front of Turtle Rock, which is over. You can get there either by going backwards or you can go over into the Palace of Darkness area looking for that. Then we've got, obviously Waterloo still has that Thieves Town Big Chest, which probably won't want to get to at any point.
No.
But we have Desert Palace's boss, which with the flute's not too bad to get to. And I don't wonder if Waterloo will remember Hammer Home ever and get the book, because he still has those tablet checks. So Front of Meyer, still only thing of interest is that big key, big chest having the Desert Small. And yeah, chat pointing out that both these runners have turned in the mushroom, but neither has checked the Witch's Hut because it's not in a great place. I don't remember entirely where it was, but I think it was the East Death Mountain. And chat asking about the cane, you'll see it very shortly on Ninban's side. It is behind the Ice Armos. To finally see some new checks once Waterloo gets to Vitreous. But otherwise, Nimban's going to be clearing out this right side and then going up the climb, which, I mean, the climb has silvers and the flute, so not bad, but nothing progression.
Yeah, but needed for Ganon.
Yes, we need to do the climb no matter what. So I'm definitely fine getting flute and silvers from doing the climb when it required one like this. And Waterloo showing the sort of correct way to route this when you have hookshot and can clear Meyer. You just hookshot over to that chest and then fall off the pit and collect the item. And I'm just trying to think at this point, it just looks like both of the runners are going to full clear, and then it's just going to be whoever full cleared faster.
Yeah.
Maybe we get to skip Smith Chain because the mitts don't show up. Right, Waterloo coming up on his Vitreous fight. The Crossy is Vitreous. You're generally either going to fight him like this with 19 hearts and silvers or 6 hearts and fighter sword. So today we got the nice variety with 19 hearts and silvers.
Another big key.
Yeah. It's like I said earlier, you got the breadcrumb big keys in the dungeons. Now we go to Turtle Rock, use the big chest, and find the ice rod in either Crystal Roller or the big chest. I guess it could still even be in the front as well. All right, Waterloo's coming up here. Thieves Town right is up here. So we can go over here and do Turtle Rock Big Chest. Let's see if it's the truest breadcrumb, because this would be literally just breadcrumbs from when they got that, whatever, the hook shot even. Once they got the hook shot in Eastern Big and Swamp. Yeah,
Oh!
it was full breadcrumb mode this seed. You just get the hook. You go into Hookless Swamp, get your hook shot in Eastern Big, and then just clear all the dungeons in order, and you get all your stuff. Though I guess that heavily relies on you already having the cane, which was technically out of logic. So I guess it's really only like that for Waterloo. But yeah, that's go mode for Waterloo. So just needs to beat Trinex, and we'll be able to drop down into the pyramid to beat Ganon.
Kinda sad. I wanted to see the pad.
Yeah, the seed kind of teased us with the it gave a lot of very bad, annoying options that chat loves, but then just ended up with, just follow the dungeon breadcrumbs and you'll get your go mode. But yeah, this seed really, the sequence break that Waterloo did, they just paid off so well with so many key items, getting the Fire Rod, Boots, Flippers, and Cane of Samaria all out of logic early. They just made routing the seed just so much nicer for him. And that all really came back to just one single decision when they were on Death Mountain. Ninban saved and quit after doing Light Death Mountain, whereas Waterloo checked the Dark World entrances and found Palace of Darkness and elected to do the Bunny Revival for his Tower of Hera Big.
$19 hearts for Waterloo.
Yeah. 19 hearts green mail, it's interesting. Down goes Trinex. This is actually a pretty nice Turtle Rock, because this is going to spit us out in the Palace of Darkness area, and then you just run over to the Pyramid for Ganon. It's always nice when you got that same sort of continuity where you do Turtle Rock last into your Ganon. It's like when you can combo Pot and Eastern when they're in weird spots together in crosskeys.
Yeah. Yeah. So Waterloo on his way to Ganon.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty nice fight. It has the silver arrows, plenty of hearts, tempered sword, so it should be a pretty quick fight. Sets up the 1 cycle on phase 1 and is doing the boot strategy here to get the 1 cycle on phase 2.
Yeah, looks really, really clean.
So just needs to finish out this phase 3 and put 4 silvers into Ganon. All right, nice position. I always like when Ganon starts on the bottom here because then you can do, he goes a little slow, but you can do that where you double him and then get another double, but a little bit slow on getting it. The position was a little bit too far. The problem was Ganon blocked the torch, so he had to wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That should be GG.
Yep, get your GGs in chat for Waterloo. He's finished with an official racetime.gg time of 2 hours, 14 minutes, and 11 seconds.
Yeah, GG's. Well played.
Yeah, definitely a roller coaster of a seed.
It was a catastrophe of a seed. So, Ninban did forfeit just after seeing that Waterloo finished.
Yeah, definitely understandable. There's still a decent amount of stuff left to find. And we're joined now by Waterloo. Good games there for you, Waterloo.
GG.
G.
So something that we've been talking about basically the whole seed is you were able to sequence break some key items. So can you talk us through sort of the decisions and how you felt for that?
When I mount Death Mountain, I do those 2 entrances. And I had 2 keys when I entered post, so I said, okay, I will do right side with Mimic Clip, and I can do Dark Maze. I found that big key, but if I had a 7 quit in CAC, I would have done Hera immediately. But I did it late, and when I found boots, I was thinking if Ninban goes to pod late, those boots would be pretty good. And after came the Fire Rod sequence break.
Yeah, you had the boots for about an hour and 20 minutes more than Ninban did.
Wow. Okay.
He luckily did sequence break the Fire Rod just like you did, but that boots advantage, plus getting the boots leading to Swamp Palace entrance through the dam, and then you being able to sequence break the Cane of Samaria with the boots.
Yeah, and when we see where was Hookshot, you couldn't have those boots with a Herapod, so yeah, it was nice. When I went to Swamp, I was thinking, if Hookshot is here, I'm probably on the right track to win the race.
Yeah, it was interesting. Both of you guys elected to do Swamp at the same time without the hook shot when you had a couple of other options like Misery Mire, but you both decided on Swamp and got that hook shot right about the same time as each other. It's just that
I don't know. I was thinking about the logic, and I said, like Swamp Palace, like there is a smell here, there's a hookshot smell here, so something is happening, and I was right.
Oh yeah, it definitely felt like that once you found the boots leading to the flippers, leading to you pulling the dam with the boots, and then yeah, you've got 2 non-clearable dungeons as an option. Hookless Swamp was a better option than it felt like.
And that Swampy key, I got Swampy key, I think 3 or 4 minutes before going into Swamp. And I was thinking to enter swamp before, and when I found my hookshot in that particular location, like if I enter swamp before getting that big key, I would be done in that scene for sure.
Yeah, for sure. That's definitely you definitely had to do the do Ice Palace before Swamp, which is hilarious given where the I want to guess where the Ice Palace big key was this seed.
Yeah, I didn't see on Ban's side. I saw Ice Palace Big Key when I was watching the 5-6 minutes of restream at the end, but I couldn't ask in the chat, so maybe you can tell me.
It was in the Thieves Town Big Chest, and the Thieves Town Big was an Ice Palace. So like the logical clear of ice was terrible.
Yeah. So yeah, because this big key was in Ice Palace. Yes. Okay, so that would have been my last location. Would have done ped before, I think, and yes, this big chest is. Yes, when you do this without the small key, is quite the worst. Also, Ninban had Ice Palace Big Key, but he didn't open Ice Palace Big Chest.
Well, yeah, because of where it was. Like he had already cleared
I
ice
see.
to get the Thieves Town Big.
Okay. Yes, and I don't know about my decision to do all GT left side. I wanted to find something to finish a dungeon, like to complete a dungeon at 100%, because at that moment, it was at 1 hour 20 minutes, something like that. I had 0 crystal on me.
Yeah, you were down to like doing Ice Palace without the big key or dipping some non-clearable dungeon. But I think it definitely makes sense because you guys both went through the Spiral Cave entrance way too many times. So if I were you, I would have definitely done as much of GT as possible first time in.
Yeah, because my goal was Palace of Darkness because I could finish everything in it, and I said, oh, there is GT on the way, so I can do left side GT, and until the last item, I was thinking, okay, hookshot will be a go mode because there is nothing here. Oh, there is Kane. I was totally wrong. That's the opposite. That was the right play. So to finish that ice rod could have been everywhere, and I said, okay, if Ninban did good routing, I need to follow that big key and to start with that particular location. Ice rod was there.
Yeah, the end game of the seed was a little bit anticlimactic given how much the seed kind of strung you guys along because you got the Eastern Big and hookshot from Swamp, and then you go and you clear Eastern for the Mire Big, and then you clear Mire for the Turtle Rock Big, and then you go and do the Turtle Rock Big chest for Ice Rod, and it's just a string of dungeons you had to complete at the end.
I see that Ninban is is there. Maybe he can just jump.
Yeah, we'll see if we can get him promoted to the live on air channel. And we are joined by Ninban. Good games, Ninban.
Hello, thank you. GG Waterloo.
GG.
So any first thoughts on this seed? We've been talking to Waterloo about it for a little bit.
It was a nice seed. I didn't feel too bored about missing the boots for that long. So I had a good experience. And apart from that, I got the goods rather late, as I discussed with Waterloo after the race. But that's just randomizer. I thought I did good by sequence breaking the fire horde in desert, but in the end it put me away from doing pod earlier.
Yeah, it was just a bit unfortunate because you didn't know that the pod was up there on that West Dark Death Mountain for a while because you kept getting other stuff to do.
Yeah. And I was just thinking, well, that's probably my desert smoky that's there. So I didn't need it anymore because desert was a pendant anyway. So it was just very low priority for me.
Yeah. Did you do death walk before right side desert, just in case?
No, because the dam was behind the boots, which were in pod. So I couldn't do anything in swamp.
Yeah, and the flippers were also locked by the boots.
Yeah, right. But when I got the boots, I found the dam pretty fast. I got the flippers too because I knew where they were. And I went straight to swamp. So finding the hookshot in the big chest was pretty cool for me. But I still full cleared swamp because I was still missing at least 2 or 3 big keys and the ice rod and the cane.
Yeah, that moment when I found hookshot, I knew that Red Cane was behind, and I saw that you did a GT in logic at the end of the race when I was watching the restream. So you didn't know that Kane was behind. For me, hookshot didn't could be at maybe 20 locations only when I found it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was really the biggest advantage that the boots gave to Waterloo, other than just the movement, because obviously with an hour and 20 of extra boost advantage, it comes to play. But even if you had had the boots for your first trip to GT, Nimban, Waterloo didn't have the hammer, so you would have been able to get all the way to the cane, which I think getting the cane early made Waterloo's route a lot easier. Because then once you beat Swamp and get the Eastern Big and the hook shot, you can just beat all the other dungeons, and that's where all your other big keys and ice route is.
Yeah.
And I needed that because Ninban is faster than me, doing things in that game. So I needed luck in routing for sure.
Yeah, and we discussed it with very few words, but that early game, how empty that was for a while.
For me, the problem of the early game was that we had maybe 6 or 7 different connectors.
Yeah.
I hate that kind of seeds. I try to dodge connectors because sometimes you just find the other entrance going at another place, and in that seed you needed to find the right one. And I was lucky to do the fairy one to be immediately on this mountain, and Pod was there. But if you choose other connectors at the beginning, you can be in trouble in that scene.
Yeah, a lot of trouble. I did find Death Mountain pretty early too, but I just never did the dark side until later.
So next game is French speaking versus French speaking 2.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's funny.
You guys have your next match for this week scheduled, or is this the second one?
It's the first one. Second one is on Saturday. I think it's 5 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah, that's right. 5 p.m.
Yeah, Paradox and Rywek. So we know each other a lot because we are playing a lot, like speaking French and commentating together. So it was funny to play team versus team.
Yeah, it's very fun. We have quite a big French-speaking community that sticks together. and it's pretty cool when you get to play each other in these more international tournaments.
Yeah, it's definitely nice to get to mix in some international matches with some community matches like that. So any other closing words before we close out the stream?
No, thank you for the restream. It's always fun to watch after, and see you in Randomizer week, because next week is vacation for me.
Nice. Well, I don't have anything else to say. Thank you all for the restream, commentating, the tracking, etc. And see you later.
All right, yeah, thanks to everyone who tuned in. Definitely give these runners a follow. They put on a great show for us tonight. Also, thank you to our tracker. Again, Jinxie Girl did a great job. Always difficult to solo track cross keys, so very thankful to have her help with that today. Also, thanks to my co-commentator, Skunkner. Also, be sure to follow the SpeedGaming family of channels so you can catch more of these league matches. There's also the SGL tournament going on, which is the modified casual boots. So always great to tune into those. So definitely follow this SpeedGaming channel with no number, along with SpeedGaming's 2 through 6, to make sure to not miss any of them.